Hey there, it's James.
It's Jet.
And many times we've been asked to talk a little bit about, like, how did we even meet? And so we thought this would be perfect for our very first story time to tell the story of how we met. So I was living in Seattle at the time and had just made the decision not to move to Las Vegas and stayed in Seattle. And I was single at the time because I had been maybe 6 months or so outside of a relationship and wasn't really looking, and so I decided to go to a restaurant with a buddy of mine who had recommended this Chinese buffet restaurant, which was really good. And so, of course, I tagged along, and the food was amazing, but definitely the most amazing thing in that restaurant was Jet, and so very attractive. And I remember the first thing she said to me was
How many?
"How many in your party?" And it was broken English, so, and then I said 2, and she said,
Follow me, please.
she said 2, follow me, please.
2, follow me, please.
And I don't know, maybe it's just my memory, but I swear to you, she smiled at me the entire time and kept coming back.
I smiled at every customer in the restaurant, okay? Not just him.
I felt a personal connection.
Whatever.
When she looked at me at the booth, I could just tell that she was just smiling a lot and making eye contact. So I thought she was a little bit flirty.
You're such a liar.
That's how I remember it. That's how I remember it.
You're in your little own world.
I might be in my own world.
You probably took something that day.
No, I didn't. I was in love.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, the first time really wasn't that eventful as far as, of course I left, but then I kept coming back to eat.
You kept coming back, yes.
I don't remember if it was once a week or twice a week.
Couple times a week?
Yeah, maybe a couple times a week. So yeah, I ended up going back there quite a bit just to see her and made sure every time, just like looking at her. She was really cute, and you had bangs. I remember she had bangs.
I had a China doll bangs. I cut myself.
She had bangs for days. You cut your own bangs.
I did. I used a kitchen scissor.
Wow.
Because I wasn't in beauty school yet at the time.
That's funny. Well, yeah, she had bangs, and she was still cute, but I'll never forget because she looked like J-Lo. She had these black pants on that were like they were painted on, and they were fantastic. And
pants? Fantastic?
You still have those pants?
I think it's too small. Can't fit in anymore.
Oh, they were amazing. So I do remember that. But
you like those pants?
I loved your smile. Love your laugh. Still love your laugh. Still love your smile. And then I think eventually we took my mom there, and my mom definitely approved of her, beauty-wise, gave her a thumbs up.
We were not even talk or dating the time.
No, and I think...
That was your mom's birthday.
Yeah, it was my mom's birthday.
You brought her over at a restaurant.
And this was maybe a month or so after I first met you. Possibly about a month. Yeah. And so I remember my mom going with us, and then she kind of pushed me to, hey, go talk to her, offer her to, help with her English. And so I think that's what I did. I gave you my number, and I said, hey, if you ever want to just talk.
Yeah.
And we did that.
Finally, give me your phone number.
But you were saying something like it was because of the way my mom, the way I treated my mom was definitely...
Because he came with his mom and his brother, and the way just such a Thai family, very sweet. And his mom, my mother-in-law, Rosie, was really kind lady. You can tell from, their family connection. I'm like, wow, that's great family, I don't mind to know him and know his family. So that's where we started. And mom's birthday was on the end of October, 29th, 30th.
Yeah,
and
end of October.
I remember it was before Thanksgiving. You brought me turkey. I was working.
Yes, that's
You brought me turkey. You said your mom cooked some turkey.
That's right.
If I want to try, and you brought me some turkey, and I think after that we start dating, right? We start dating.
I think so. Yeah, she's right. So she was working on Thanksgiving, but I remember making her a plate, and I put tinfoil on it, and I brought it to her restaurant and gave her Thanksgiving dinner, basically.
That was my first.
I forgot all about that.
That was my first Thanksgiving in America.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But one of the things I remember too is that Jet was so nice. She used to come visit me, and at the time I was living in the very worst hotel, motel, whatever you'd call it. It was an apartment, but it was
very tacky.
It was a very cheap, inexpensive, $400 I think is what I paid for a little studio in Seattle, and it was in the worst part of Seattle. If you're from Seattle, you know the Aurora area. You know what it's famous for, lots of prostitution and stuff like that. So it was just a really rough neighborhood, but it was so cheap at $400, and that was like including everything, every utility. And but boy, she would just drive out there and meet me.
After work, 9,
you got off work late too.
But you know, the time I did not know what's going on in Aurora, so I did not have a fear. If I would have knew, I probably don't even go there. But I know when I walk the parking, you don't have the parking in front of your apartment.
No, you kind of parked off. My parking spot was in front of my little bungalow. Well, it didn't even look like an apartment, but it was like maybe a good 75 feet in front of the door.
And I always need to walk a little bit and walk a little bit. I always see there's a broken toilet seats. Broken toilets outside too.
Oh, I remember that. There was more than one. The broken porcelain toilet seats.
Always there.
The whole toilet would be outside.
There for a year.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot.
As long as I remember.
That was a rough.
Oh my gosh, that's like in my mind. 2 toilet seats. That's right there.
I remember Jet gave me a hard time years later because at the time I had a Geo Metro that was. I wasn't paying attention when I was driving, and I basically ran into a truck that was parked, and I dented in the whole front end. I mean, it was bad. And like I had to take bungee cords and keep the hood down on the Metro just so I could drive it anywhere. But the thing got like 60 some miles to the gallon, and I wasn't giving it up. But needless to say, when I first started dating Jet, I borrowed my friend's car because my car was so rough. And for a while, she thought I owned that little Scion. I think.
Yeah.
And then when you saw my Metro for the first time, you were like, "No."
So the time I saw his little broken car, I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I wouldn't even give him a chance. The first day I saw he drive the little car, the like material, like kind of girl, but the car is bad.
Would have been a red flag.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
My sofa wasn't that great either. That was pretty rough. I think I found that for free.
It wasn't even microfiber. It was just a cloth.
It was like an old granny print. It was like kind of a weird blue checker. Like it was out of it was pretty bad. It was sad. And some of the cushions I remember were broken, so the cushion would sink into the couch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got that for free. Well, we hope you guys liked our very first story time. Make sure to comment below any ideas or questions you have. We got a lot more story times to do. We love you. Thank you for all your love and support.